Some of the arguments that we're looking at don't follow an exact form. Here's an example. All artists are creative, all musicians are creative, therefore some musicians are artists. Now, in answering the question whether or not this is a valid form, one way to answer this question is to just sort of think it through and think to yourself, let's see, is it possible such that none of the musicians are also artists? And if you're a visual learner, maybe an easier way to visualize this would be to draw a picture. Start with a big square, that's the whole world. And let's draw the artists and the creative people. So this big blue circle represents all the creative people. Then I'm going to draw the artists inside there, and that represents the first line. All artists are creative. In other words, everybody who's an artist has to be inside the creative circle. All artists are creative. Now, in order to do the second one, all musicians are creative, I also have to draw the musicians inside the creative circle, and I can draw it like this. Now, I could also draw it as overlapping, but I can draw it this way. And you can see that the third statement is actually false according to this picture. So the third statement is not forced to be true, and so this is invalid. Now, I could draw them as overlapping like this, but the question isn't whether or not they can be true, but whether it's forced to be true. And so if I draw the image like this, the first two statements are correctly represented in the figure, but the third statement isn't forced to be true, and so therefore this is an invalid form of arguing. And this is problem number 3 in your homework. Let's look at a second example. All politicians are rich, no Democrats are rich, therefore no Democrats are politicians. So first of all, we're not talking about the truth or falsehood of this. Obviously all 3 of these statements are false. Instead, we're trying to look at the form and determine if the third statement is forced to be true if the first 2 statements are true. Again, a diagram could be helpful. So here's the whole world, and then we're going to draw the rich people in blue. That circle is all the rich people, and then the politicians. All politicians are rich, so we have to put the politicians inside the rich circle. Then I draw no Democrats are rich. I'm going to draw the Democrats. I have to draw them outside of the rich circle. So the Democrats end up over there. And now if you look at the third statement, therefore no Democrats are politicians, that is forced to be true because I had to put the green circle outside of the blue circle, and so therefore none of the green circle intersects with any of the red circle. And so this is a valid form of argument. The third line, the conclusion is forced to be true, and this is problem number 7 in your homework.